welcome to Sports Perspective on this Halloween week. I'm Hayden Grove.
And I'm Franz Ross. And sticking with the Halloween theme, the Buckeyes were in a pretty spooky situation this last weekend, Hayden.
They definitely survived a scare in Happy Valley, Franz, and I was there to give us the recap.
The Ohio State offense proved prolific coming into Saturday night's game, having scored 50-plus points in 4 straight games. But it was the Ohio State defense that put the happy in Happy Valley for Buckeyes fans, as it was their efforts that helped Ohio State to secure a 31-24 victory over the Nittany Lions.
I actually pulled my ear off a couple times to hear it. You can't get louder, and the nut it up and get it done like that. They did a nice job.
Defense struggles sometime. We did Cincinnati, and the offense just kept us going. So it was the other way this time. They just kept motivating us to keep going, and it was a good team win.
As J.T. Barrett and the Ohio State offense struggled throughout the majority of Saturday's contest, the Ohio State defense picked up the slack for 3 quarters, keeping Penn State under 100 yards of total offense in those 45 minutes of action.
I mean, you can't be any more proud of a group of kids, you know. I mean, when momentum shifts, man, it is really tough. And I think that's the name of the game in college football, in football in general. And when you got the momentum, you got to keep it. When you lose it, you got to find a way to get it. And, you know, the momentum shifted there and going into the overtime, and, you know, our guys bowed up and the offense bowed up. And as a group and as a team, I think they all just kind of came together. It's great to see.
You've seen some efforts from some guys, and I mean, we got really close together on that sideline, and we said, no matter what happens, we're going to come out victorious in this one. So, you know, that goes a lot to coaching and the leadership on our team. But, you know, we saw a lot of good things out of some guys, and we got some things to fix.
While Penn State took advantage of a tuckered-out group that tied the game at 17 in the 4th quarter and forced things into overtime, in the extra period, it was once again the defense that stood strong against Christian Hackenberg and the Nittany Lions offense.
4 downs, we're going to stop them. That's all we said. We had confidence in our unit, and that whole back half, we played great tonight. You know, just said, keep on grinding it out. We'll win this together.
With 2.5 sacks, including the takedown of Hackenberg that sealed the deal for the Buckeyes, defensive end Joey Bosa was proud of the efforts of the defense and the team as a whole, but said that he and the men around him aren't quite where they need to be.
I think I played a decent game. What you guys saw, a big play at the end. In my mind, I needed to play a lot better. With the one-on-ones, I got caught up a couple times. I need to win every time. In my mind, that's how things go. And I don't know. It was nice to make a big play at the end, though.
Not that, you know, discarding anybody else, but you kind of expect the way how good a player Joey Bosa is, you kind of expect him to go make a play to win a game. That's how talented he is.
On the other side of the ball, J.T. Barrett may have removed himself from the Heisman Trophy race on Saturday with just 74 yards through the air and 2 key interceptions, including one that was returned for a touchdown, but he rushed for 2 touchdowns in the overtime period while playing on a sprained knee to earn the praise of his head coach.
You see the way that kid's raised. He's a tough guy, man, that just does things right, and usually people that do things right get rewarded.
Meyer wasn't the only one proud of Barrett for his grit, however, as both Bosa and running back Ezekiel Elliott also made sure JT got the credit he deserved.
The way he carries his business, like I say, he's a pro, and I wouldn't expect anything less than him. I mean, I think it was great how he just wasn't really having that good of a game, and it's because of the pressure issues. He wasn't able to get comfortable in the pocket, and just in that overtime, he stepped up and ran the ball really well, and he ran it hard.
Love him. I just going up to all my players, hugging them, telling them I love them, because I think we really grew a lot closer this game, and it's amazing playing with these guys, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Elliott was the major source of offense for the Buckeyes on Saturday night, accounting for 109 yards on the ground and adding another score to his season total.
I mean, this is good. This is good for some experience. You know, we had to come in here in front of 108,000, and we took the crowd away from the game in the first half with the run game. But in the second half, we just didn't have any momentum at all. The crowd got back to the game. We started making a lot of mistakes. I mean, but it's good to see us react to this type of adversity.
Overall, with one hostile environment down and another 2 weeks away in East Lansing, the Buckeyes understand that adjustments need to be made.
We better worry about getting a little better in certain areas about next week. Don't worry about that one.
Just because we won in second overtime doesn't make it a small win. This was a huge win. Should have played a lot better, and we will.
Now at 6-1 on the year, the Buckeyes will head into their second of 3 consecutive primetime games at home against Illinois next Saturday. Until then, for the Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
After having a day to digest the events of Saturday night, Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes hosted the weekly Meyer Monday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, and once again, I was there to see what the Buckeyes thought of their effort against the Nittany Lions and of their upcoming opponent.
After a hard-fought double overtime victory against Penn State in Happy Valley, the Buckeyes seemed to have learned something about themselves as a football team. But with the big matchup against Michigan State looming in just 2 weeks, the Buckeyes hope to have learned another lesson in not overlooking opponents, with Illinois coming to Columbus.
You had to nut up, man. You're down. You're down by 7 points in that environment, and there's no, don't look for anyone else for help. There's 11 guys out there have to score a touchdown, and they did.
That was a great character win. You're not supposed to win in that situation. You get caught from behind in an environment like that and then go behind in overtime going into their student section. You are not supposed to win that game. The only way you win that game is if the men on your team are men of incredible character and resilience, and they are. And that was a fantastic finish. Do I think it makes a difference this week? I don't know. I think this. You can look every guy in that locker room in the eye and say, you have proved something to yourself and your teammates about the kind of man you are. Now let's go enhance that this week. Let's take that energy, let's take how we finished that game, and let's let it carry us forward.
As Coach Combs so emphatically illustrated, Ohio State was faced with tremendous pressure against Penn State on Saturday night, but it was how the Buckeyes performed in those moments that caused Meyer to believe his team is now a tough one.
You just were in a street fight, and you were winning. You started getting your tail kicked, and you came back and won. That builds toughness.
One of those moments was Penn State's final drive in regulation, during which Christian Hackenberg and the Penn State offense made their way into the Ohio State red zone, looking to score the go-ahead touchdown as time expired. Instead, the Ohio State defense forced the field goal to send things to overtime, much to the excitement of Combs.
I think our kids, I think they rose to the occasion. I know that sounds odd because they caught us, but you know they only caught us. They didn't go ahead of us. We walked out of there with another chance to play and line up and play in overtime.
Safety Tyvis Powell, who had a big interception for Ohio State on the evening, also spoke about that final drive and said the Buckeye defense still needs to learn how to finish better.
That last drive, what it helped me understand is that one thing that we struggle with for the past couple games is finishing the game, and we need to really fix that problem, because once we get deeper into the season, then that's going to be like a big deal to finish games. So that's one thing that it kind of frustrates me, because I mean that's the thing that I was telling, we need to finish this game, and for them to get down there on the last drive like that, it kind of upsetted me.
With Penn State in the rearview mirror, an Illinois team that beat Minnesota on Saturday is heading towards the horseshoe. And despite the many reasons that could result in the Buckeyes overlooking the Illini, that doesn't seem to be the case from the team themselves.
No. You take every game seriously, because when you think you just gonna go in there and just slap somebody, that's when you in a fight. So you can't look past no teams.
Illinois won. Illinois is much better. I know they lost their quarterback, but they're playing much better. I just spent all morning watching their defense, and they're much better than a year ago on defense.
I think our kids will be focused. It's 8 o'clock. It's in the shoe. We're going to come out with our feet not touching the ground on Saturday night.
The Buckeyes will take on the Fighting Illini at 8 p.m. from Ohio Stadium on Saturday. Until then, for Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
After Monday's press conference, sources confirmed to Lantern TV that Ohio State redshirt senior running back Rod Smith had been dismissed from the team for a violation of team rules. On Tuesday afternoon, Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer released a statement saying, quote, Rod Smith has left the Ohio State football team to deal with some personal issues. We will continue to support Rod, and we wish him the best. 6'3", 230-pound Fort Wayne, Indiana native, who was used as Ohio State's goal line running back, rushed for 101 yards on 24 carries for 4 touchdowns this season and played against Penn State, but did not receive an official carry. His biggest game of 2014 came against Cincinnati, during which he took 11 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown. In addition to his duties as running back, Smith was also a valued member of Ohio State's special teams unit and was even lauded by coach Urban Meyer for an 11-second block during a special teams play.
In even more Buckeye football news, the first ever college football playoff rankings were released on Tuesday night, and following much anticipation, the Buckeyes were ranked number 16 behind Big Ten members number 15 Nebraska and number 8 Michigan State. The top 4 teams in the first ever college football playoff rankings were Ole Miss at number 4, Auburn at number 3, Florida State at number 2, and Mississippi State at number 1. And with that, it's another big weekend for Ohio State athletics. On a Halloween Friday, women's soccer, men's and women's swimming, women's ice hockey, and women's volleyball are all in action at home, while the men's hockey team travels to Canisius and the men's tennis team heads for a tournament in Minneapolis. On Saturday, with football lighting up the marquee at 8 o'clock, the men's soccer team heads to College Park for a battle with Maryland, the women's ice hockey team finishes their series against St. Cloud State, and the men's hockey team does the same against Canisius. And finally, on Sunday, field hockey hosts Michigan for a noon matinee, and the men's wrestling team heads to East Lansing for the Michigan State Open.
Hayden, we're winding down October, which of course is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're heading into November, which is Men's Health Awareness Month. Now, part of that awareness is Movember, which is growing a mustache in support of men's health. So Hayden, on this very show, I'm challenging you, and I'll partake in it with you, but I'm challenging you to grow a mustache as part of Movember awareness. Do you accept my challenge?
I knew this was coming because you have such fantastic facial hair, and I will accept your challenge. I will accept your challenge. I know I'm not going to look nearly as good as you, but I will accept your challenge in the cause of men's health awareness because it is a very important issue. So I will accept your challenge, and I'm going to apologize to my mother because I know she's not going to like it because I'm going to look terrible, but that's okay. For men's health, I'll do it. That's going to do it for this episode of Sports Perspective. Be sure to tune in next week as we take a look at Ohio State's game against Illinois. And be sure to check out all of our coverage on Lantern TV, including Chalk Talk and Buckeye News Now. Until then, for Franz Ross and the entire crew here at Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.